Alright, so here is our finished build, if you will, for the stock class. It is a Chrysler Sebring. Pretty sure it's got a 2.4 liter in it. The paint job is last minute, so Hud and I decided, my boy, we're going to do camo as our basic kind of paint design. Like, we like to do different themes now and then, like superheroes. We did that last year. We did Batman last year and stuff like that. Maybe have a Star Wars or a video game one coming up here. But we said for our stock cars, like just a pretty quick, if you will, and simple, we're going to do camo. Now the red, yellow, and blue color, the reason why I went with that is because that is the leftover paint we have from last year with what we did. You can see how the yellow in particular needs another coat. I mean, the blue looks pretty good. The red, probably another coat. But this is last minute. If you watched the second build video I did for this car, I flooded the motor, made a mess, had sensors tripped, I had to drain the engine, and I wasn't even sure I was going to get it to run. Today's the Derby. I'm literally loading up now and heading there in about an hour, and I just finished it. Wasn't rushing around necessarily, but the paint job, I wasn't going to paint it if the car was trashed. So that's why I only got one coat on last night once I got everything in order. This right here I am super excited about. Shout out to my mother and father-in-law. This was my Christmas present, a Smith Metalworks Derby tank. And as you can see there, I took seat insulation. There's the seat sitting over there by the little four-wheeler, and I put it around it. A buddy of mine told me to do that. He's done it for a while, no issues. And then you can see I have my bar going across the top. I taped it in between there just in case the terminals, they're probably going to wiggle around a little bit. You know, they touch something. That way they're good to go there. But that baby is bolted straight to the floor. It is not moving. No more ratchet strap garbage. Battery coming loose. That is also a $300 gel marine battery. It better live up to the booking, if you will. And it does have a 3-year warranty. That was kind of the main reasons why I went from the $150, $200 marine battery to the $300 gel. The other ones only had a year warranty, so I was like, all right. And the guy said this should be the best one, so we'll see. Put a little charge in that, but otherwise it's my same setup. Got the battery lines here, and I asked the guy, I said I use U-bolt clamps with the battery lines to run it into the motor. You know, it's pretty windy here, if you can hear, yesterday and today. And I asked him if that was, you know, creating heat or anything like that. He said, no, it shouldn't. So, I mean, it was the AutoZone guys. There were two guys there. They seem pretty knowledgeable. Otherwise, you can see just kind of taped up the wiring, unplugged what I could to or need to. This seems to be some sort, there's one on each side. It runs to the brake. I don't know if it's a brake sensor or what it is, so I didn't want to unplug it. Again, my rule of thumb, you know, unplug it if it works, great. But that right there, it's not going to take damage or anything. My typical simple chain with the 3/8 inch bolt, and under the hood, again, we are stock, so just kind of tape the wiring. Make sure you unplug the sensors, of course. Tape the wiring there. There's my transmission duped, so running out, and then I have it high pressure clamps there. Back there is where the you can see it there in the back, where the transmission lines run through. And I was like, oh man, is that going to be an issue with the guy who bought this off? I had already cut off the catalytic converter, but whenever I'm looping it like this, she goes out of the transmission and right back in. So yeah, otherwise the fuse box here was sitting right against the rail there, and the side, and this side, the fender is like a makeshift one from the owner that had it before it, so it's not even mounted there well, and I wanted to get the fuse box a little inside, so I laid it over, took a bunch of straps and kind of secured it there, and then there's again my positive terminal, get out of the sun, and then there's the negative one running into the car. So the airline here, again, just my typical stuff, just secured it because it's kind of just flimsy sitting there. But otherwise, yeah, she is stock underneath, put water in it, just lifted the front there. You know, these rebars, they're not really too tough. This one, I mean, you never really know. Some of them I think are tougher than others, but if I can hit with that corner right there where the frame rail is, that's best case. So I'm going to try to protect this front. As I said, this fender is barely on there, and there's just nothing there. The transmission's in there, as well as my fuse boxes. And the pulleys on the other side are inside the frame rail enough. I don't think they're going to be an issue at all. Otherwise, the tank, I am running a stock tank. I did drop it, and the line was really rusted from kind of the plastic part here under the car. So I went about up to the seat, and then up to with my high pressure fuel line and my high pressure fuel clamps to the tank. Just kind of had my wife help me, got the jack under it and carefully raised it back up to get it not only aligned but to make sure I didn't pinch any of the hoses. So they're sitting there. I still have the cover that I could put on. The guys shouldn't make an issue with it. I mean, they were saying stuff like the tanks. A lot of people do this nowadays. Just put the tank inside, you know, secure it, ratchet strap real good, run the stock pump and everything, or the tank rather there. Sorry, my allergies are all over the place with this wind and everything. But these guys don't let you do that. So it's the first time I ran with them. But the tank is stock. I did it twice last year. Did it with the Camry, and yeah. Once last year, twice the year before. My wife and I both ran one stock. I haven't had an issue with it, and a lot of people do it. Used my seat belts to secure not only the trunk but also the doors, and then I had some duct tape that was buried with this car in the trunk. I'm going to use that. So got my roof sign up. That is her. Again, stock, compact. Going to Spartansburg, PA. Pretty excited. It's a pretty good track. It's pretty big. But it's not too big or hard that, you know, you can really get runs. I mean, you definitely can if there's not a lot of cars left or a lot of cars in it. So we'll see. The motor runs, I mean, pretty good, but it's kind of tired. Like, it doesn't get up and go super good. So I always tell people I put it to the floor every hit. Well, when I put this thing to the floor, she's trying to get up and moving. So hopefully no one is complaining about me sandbagging or something. Like, listen, every time I go for a hit, I put it to the floor. So we'll see what we got, but this is our finished, again, Chrysler Sebring, mid-2000s, I believe. It was a field car, happened to come across it. We'll see what we got today.